Coming up on the Forties Formula.
I think for most parents, the idea of saying goodbye to your child for the weekend and then never seeing them again is just unimaginable.
On 25th May, he promised to send him to school, but Caleb never made it to school. That night, they found out that they left Singapore. A lot of people tend to say, oh, it's just a father. Why would you call that abduction? At this point, a year and 3 months, it's not a domestic issue anymore. There is no way to find his location. He would just snatch Caleb off me. He was a baby, even if he was breastfeeding. He started sending me messages threatening to hurt and neglect Caleb. Should I hit his head with a hammer? I would tell him that I love him more than anything. And I won't stop until I find you.
An empty bedroom, a missing child, and a fight that's crossed borders and broken hearts. This is Daylin Limonte's story.
The Forties Formula.
The Forties Formula.
The Forties Formula. Hosted by Jasmin, Dhillon, integrated health strategist specializing in gut health, hormones, and midlife well-being.
And Amanda Lim, director of Lift Clinic and a leading expert in female strength and metabolism.
Named one of CNA's top podcasts and winner of the 2025 Asia Podcast Awards in the Best Health and Wellness Podcast category.
The Forties Formula is your no-fluff, science meets real-life guide to thriving in your 40s.
All right, before we dive into today's episode, let's talk about something that makes our lives way easier.
And tastier, because let's be honest, between work, workouts, and life, we don't exactly have time to wrestle the trolleys at the supermarket.
Which is why we've been with the Meat Club since the beginning of the Forties Formula.
Yep, they've had our back since episode 1 and tasty dinners on our plates too.
With the Meat Club, you skip the supermarket chaos and get premium nutritious proteins delivered to your door on your schedule.
It's a subscription that actually simplifies life. No last-minute grocery runs, just quality meats, seafood, fruits, and veggies always ready when you are.
Their mission says it all. Good food is the foundation of a great life. And with the Meat Club's delivery, it's coming literally to your doorstep.
This is where quality meets convenience, and we're here for it.
All right, TMC drop check. Let's see what we got here. Oh, well, first things first, you can't have Taco Tuesdays without snapper.
But what about salmon? Because that's definitely our favorite.
Okay, fair enough. But chicken breast, that's the workhorse we're eating every single day.
I think it's all about the chicken thighs.
Oh my gosh, chicken thighs, I don't know if I could get one down myself, but I do know that this mince makes a mean burger.
Who wants burgers when you can have a grass-fed beef eye fillet steak?
Okay, that is amazing. But with that steak, I would definitely be serving this delicious broccoli and spicing it up with these chilies.
Okay, you've definitely won there. I have got some coriander, some cherry tomatoes. I mean, check out the color on those. And for dessert, strawberries.
We also got some fruit for the kids, which they will love. And one of the coolest thing about the subscription, an amazing quality chef's knife and a beautiful wooden cutting board.
Honestly, it's the easiest way to eat well without overthinking it.
So if you're ready to upgrade your meals without adding to your mental load, head over to themeatclub.com.sg.
Sign up for the flexible subscription, no lock-ins, just high-quality proteins delivered straight to you.
And don't forget to use our code TFF12 to save $12 off your first order.
We'll drop it in the show notes, or you can find it on our Instagram.
The Meat Club, where quality meets convenience.
Her story reads like a headline no parent ever wants to see. A child abducted by his own father, vanished across borders. But behind the headlines is a woman, a mother, determined and heartbroken. This is Daylin Limonte, the mother who refused to stop searching for her son, Caleb.
Please visit helpfindcaleb.com for more information on how you can help the search.
Hi, Daylin. Welcome to the show. It's a really weird thing that we're going to be talking about. I think for most parents, the idea of saying goodbye to your child for the weekend and then never seeing them again is just unimaginable. And I really can't imagine what you are going through right now and what you went through. But do you mind just taking us back to that day and how it all started?
Yes, indeed, it's hard, but it does happen. I'm probably not the only one who's going through this at the moment. And firstly, I want to thank you both for giving me this opportunity to share my story with your audience. So yes, on 25th May, I sent Caleb for access with his father, and he was supposed to be returned on Sunday, 26th May, but the father refused to hand him over. And so I went to his house with the police, and the police didn't manage to convince him. In Singapore, the police cannot enforce something. So in terms of like court orders, family court orders, they don't enforce, they only encourage. So they didn't convince him to return Caleb back to me. And Caleb's father, Lukman, he promised to send him to school the next morning on Monday, 27 May. But Caleb never made it to school. So I went to his house again on Monday, and I called the police for assistance again. And Lukman's parents, who were in the house then, they said that they went out on Monday morning to school, both Lukman and Caleb. And that was the last time they saw them. So I lodged a police report because at that point I didn't know where my son was. So I wait for any information from the police. Few days pass. I went to their house again. It must have been Tuesday or Wednesday. And I called the police again. They didn't have any information. And a week later, I go again to his house. I call the police, and the parents say the same story, that the last time they saw Lukman and Caleb was on the previous Monday when they were going to school. And at that point, it's starting to worry me, and also the police officers seem a little bit more concerned. And that night they found out that they left Singapore, and a few days later, just a couple of days later, ICA confirmed that they have crossed the border via Woodlands checkpoint to Malaysia.
And it was on that Monday, on that very Monday.
It was this one Monday after they actually left was that I had the confirmation that they have left Singapore.
Okay, so this was 2024, so it's been over a year now. And so on the Monday, the 27th, was when they actually left, when he didn't show up for school.
That's
but
right.
you didn't find out until the following week.
That's right, yeah.
Wow. So during that 1 week, what was your state of mind? Like what were you going through?
Yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty and a lot of emptiness. It wasn't the first time, actually. It wasn't the first time that he had kept Caleb longer than the court order states. But it was the first time he took him out of Singapore. So yeah, it was very uncertain, very like I didn't know what to do with my time, basically, because suddenly like my life goes around my son and my work and social life. I barely have time. I don't have a helper. I'm a single mom, work full time and look after my child. So suddenly it's like this feeling of like, what do I do with my time? Plus I'm like, where is he? Like, when am I going to have him back? So.
How many times had he done that before?
So the longer time periods that he took him for was when he was 2.5 years old. we were having supervised access. I was supervising the access, and he ran away, literally ran away with the 2.5-year-old Caleb. I went to his house. I called the police. The police didn't manage to get my son back. In fact, Lukman's parents told the police, well, his father told the police that he didn't know anything about my son. And I turned around to the officers and I told them, well, he's a missing person. And so the police officers managed to convince Lukman's father, Caleb's grandfather, to say the truth. And at the end, he said that the child was with the grandmother at that moment. And he video called the wife, Caleb's grandmother, who was looking after Caleb at that time. So I had to go to court. I had to put an injection order, and the whole thing took 8 days. So it took me 8 days then to recover my 2.5-year-old. And it happened in smaller, like 2 days, 3 days, throughout, from 2020 to 2024. But in 2024, last year, in January alone, it happened twice. First week of January, it happened for 5 days. So he took him for 5 days. And the third week of January, he took him for 6 days. Both weeks, Caleb, he missed like school days and everything. So I stopped access because I was afraid that this was going to happen. And I started access again in May, and that was the last time I saw my son.
You restarted access in May, so was that the first?
Exactly.
So that was the first.
That was the first
visit,
access, yeah.
and that was when Caleb's grandparents here, still in Singapore.
They are here in Singapore, but they don't talk to me. They don't help me. They tell the police that they don't know anything.
Do you believe that?
I don't at all.
Do you believe that they know where he is?
Definitely. Caleb's father, he hasn't been able to have a job, like a stable job. And he was always living with his parents. He used to do online trading with his parents' savings. So I believe that's what he's doing now. And they have a joint account, and he's definitely having support from his parents.
And obviously, if you believe that to be true, and it may be true, then there would be some traceable contact. But you're saying that the Singapore police and the Malaysia police have so far not been able to use that information?
Well, his contacts, the contacts that are known to me, all those are inactive. I mean, he deleted the number before he decided to disappear. He stopped using his emails, and for as long as those are inactive, there is no way to find his location.
Wow. So it sounds like it was obviously planned.
It sounds like it, yeah.
Wow. I'm just lost for words. I just don't know like how someone could do this, and then, what you have been going through. So just to sort of take a little step back, when you realised that there was a problem and that Caleb wasn't coming home, what steps did you take? And, what were you expecting him to sort of be given back to you at some point, like in the previous times?
Yeah, I was hoping that. I never thought he would do what he did. Never. Yeah. Initially, I didn't act. Perhaps if I had, hired a PI earlier, maybe I could have tracked them down, But yeah, one is I really hoped that he was going to bring him back, and it's like the resources that it all takes, like hiring a PR. I was really hoping I didn't have to get to that point because I couldn't afford it. Like I've been on a legal battle for 6.5 years with this person. And that's drained my resources. So I was really like hoping I didn't have to get to that point.
And you mentioned you've been in a legal battle for, basically the entire time that Caleb's been alive.
Yeah. Since he's 1, so 6.5 years.
Can you tell us about the nature of your divorce, if you're comfortable, in terms of signs and signals that you knew you needed to get out of that relationship?
Yeah, that's another story. So I was abused emotionally by Caleb's father. So he has always used the child as a tool to get at me. I'm just gonna put some examples. Like he used to like get angry for like very small things. Like if I splashed him after I washed my hands, I just splashed him. He was always lying on the floor, and he would just like, he was a monster, and he would just snatch Caleb off me. He was a baby. Even if he was breastfeeding, he would just snatch him off me and he would take him away. If we were outside and I didn't help him carry the stroller, or I knock him. Oh, there was one time I knock his like heels with the stroller. I accidentally, obviously. That was like awful. And then he would just take Caleb off the stroller and he would walk away and he would leave me behind. Then he didn't have a stable job. So I had to go back to work after my maternity leave. I was on and off. So I had like one day off, one day work, one day off. And he started sending me messages threatening to hurt and neglect Caleb. So he would say things like, he peed again, and I'm going to put ice cubes on his back for revenge, for negative rewards. Those were his words. Or he would say things like, he's crying again, I'm just going to leave him there until you're back. Or he pooped again, I'm going to put him in the toilet bowl and poop on him for revenge. And I'm going to punch him, and should I hit his head with the hammer, and crazy stuff like that. Like, he would make it look like a joke, but like once or twice maybe it's a joke, but more than that, it's very scary. So I left the job that I had back then, and that's when I joined Beyond Active. Yeah, I could work from home, flexible time, and since Caleb was 5 months old, I worked and looked at him at the same time all the way until he was 5. He could only start school when he was 5 because Lukman he made it so hard for me to send him to school. He'd never approved, and he was 5 when I managed to find a school that didn't ask me for the father's approval.
And do you believe that's because he wanted to keep you at home?
I think so. He wanted to make everything very hard for me. The passport was another thing. So so in Singapore, custody it's not like sole custody given to one parent and then the other one access like most countries do. In Singapore, there is custody, care and control, so where the child lives, and then there is custody in terms of like decision making, like education, religion, and hospitalization, that is given equally to both parents, so that both parents are part of children's upbringing, right? It makes sense when you're dealing with someone reasonable. And that was not my case. So it's been a nightmare.
What if the two parents cannot come to an agreement on the things you just mentioned?
You just have to keep going back to court, back to court. And I've been going back to court for the past 6.5 years. And the other thing is So he was made the legal guardian of the passport, and I didn't need his approval to go out of Singapore. I just needed to inform him, and he was obliged to give me the passport every time I needed it.
Would he?
Now, he never did. He always refused. So slowly over the years, I've got more of the custody, but it's been a big effort, big money spent. It's just been, horrible. So they made me the decision maker on education because I struggled to put him in school. They made me the legal guardian of the passport after a while because he always refused. But I still never got his passport ever.
So he still had the passport then when, oh my God.
Is he a Singaporean citizen, your son?
He is Singaporean, both father and son.
Are you a Singaporean citizen?
I am too.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, you said you've been fighting for more and more custody.
Yeah.
What has that given you? Any tools?
Well, by now I'm I'm the sole custodian.
Okay.
It was given to me in June this year. So right now he has no physical access at all. So everything is given to me. I just need to find him.
Have there been any sightings or any leads, anything from anyone?
No leads, no.
And do you still believe that he's in Malaysia?
I believe he is, unless he has crossed the border illegally, which I really doubt.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it is a possibility, but I wouldn't think he would do that. Malaysia's big enough.
Yeah.
It's, it's very big, and you can easily, there is areas that are not as, well connected. Yeah, he can get off the grid in Malaysia easily. It's his culture, his religion, his parents have access, it's cheap, so he could live very well with like a fraction of what he would need here. So I think it makes sense that he's in Malaysia. I could be wrong, but I have the feeling they are.
If they were to cross the border legally, meaning if a passport was presented at the border,
they would be stopped.
Okay.
They would be stopped.
So he would be returned.
It will be stopped. Yeah, there is notice in Malaysian immigration and also in Singapore. So if they try, they are caught. They will be caught. Yeah.
Can we paint a hopeful scenario that happens? So let's say for whatever reason, I mean, it would be stupid of him at this point to do it, but let's say he goes to a border and Caleb is brought back. What would be the legal ramification for your ex-husband?
So there is a warrant of arrest, but it's only for breach of court of custody orders. I have yet to file an application to accuse him as an abductor, right? I have to do that myself. So he won't be sent to jail or anything for that. He will be sent only for a week for the breach of court order. Yeah.
And have you not done that? And please feel free to not answer this question. Have you not done that because you hope that would encourage him to return, Caleb?
Not really. I haven't done it because my priority is to find Caleb. I can't put resources onto something that can be done after. Yeah.
Of course.
And we understand that one of the other implications and things that you've struggled with is because Malaysia's not part of the Hague Convention. Now, how is that sort of limited, how Malaysia and Singapore have sort of worked together or not worked together?
Yeah, that's a great question. So for countries that are not part of the Hague Convention in terms of child abduction, like Malaysia is, Singapore is, Malaysia's not. So there is no streamlined process for the both countries to work together to find and retrieve the child. That's a big complication. However, we got Malaysia authorities to help, but right now we're kind of stuck trying to get help from Singapore side. they have more resources to find a location. Like they could trace bank transactions, for example. They could interrogate the parents, trace phone calls, messages. But that's where we're stuck.
So that's your hurdle now, that there's just no sort of communication between the two authorities?
Malaysia's trying. They are
Malaysia's
trying, but so far we haven't got much from Singapore. But I'm trying. I'm trying to.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think Singapore are not being helpful?
No idea. No idea.
And when you say we, Daylin, who's your support team? Who are you with on this journey?
Well, my family, my friends that are always with me. Yeah, my lawyer, even my lawyer. Yeah, I have a big support. Yeah.
So Amanda, you know how I've been on this journey about improving my sleep?
Oh, you have been obsessed about it lately.
Well, I have found something that has been incredible. Cozy Earth bed sheets.
Ooh, that's saying a lot because you are really picky about your sleep setup.
Exactly. These sheets are made from bamboo viscose. They are naturally breathable and I get the perfect night's sleep. They keep me cool all night.
Oh, and I've been eyeing the pajamas too. They are so chic and super cozy.
It's a total game changer and so relaxing for the evenings.
And what's crazy is that Cozy Earth actually ships to Singapore, orders over $560, ship free. And in the US, orders over $50, ship free.
And did you know you can get your biggest ever discount, 41%, if you use code TFF today?
So head over to cozyearth.com and use that code TFF today.
How have you sort of managed to look after yourself during this time? Because I can just imagine, that this has been sort of all consuming for you. How do you sort of keep yourself together other than your support network? Are there any other things that have helped you just to sort of, keep at peace with what's been going on?
Yeah, definitely. I think now more than ever, it's important to look after myself because even though, I have a big supporting group, but I have to drive this. I have to lead this. And if I'm not, well, nobody will get it done, right? It won't get done. So yeah, for sure. I love exercising, but I would say my the medicine to my soul is dancing. I love dancing, and spending time with friends, people who make me laugh. Good food, for sure. Yeah, I do have a lot of things that keep me going. Yeah.
What are the sort of the next steps then, or are there any next steps in trying to help find Caleb?
Yes, we do have next steps. So right now I'm trying to get some media attention in Malaysia to get more people to know about it. So we've offered a reward for any information that leads to his whereabouts. And we're gonna try to use that as incentive for more people to look for him, to search for him. And we're going to explore like social media, adverts. Really, it's all about like getting more people to know what's happening and getting more people to look for him.
And I think that's a great time to just mention the website that we mentioned at the beginning of this show, which is helpfindcaleb.com. There you can visit the website. You can see pictures so that you can help to identify. If you're listening to this show from Singapore or Malaysia particularly, that would be a great opportunity to have a look. And it also details the reward that you just talked about as well for information. So please, if you're listening to this show or watching this show, please visit that website immediately and familiarize yourself with young Caleb.
Thank you.
And if you could speak directly to Caleb right now, what would you like to say to him?
That's the most difficult question you've asked today. I would tell him that I love him more than anything. I would tell him that don't believe everything that you hear. And I'll keep looking for you. And I won't stop until I find you. Yeah.
Daylin, that must be very difficult. You know, I in just obviously being a parent, you know, I can really feel your pain, and we really hope that, you know, that this search comes to an end soon, just because it's probably one of the worst things for any parent to feel. If there's anyone out there who's going through a similar thing, is there anything you'd like to say to them about, you know, how to keep going, or any words of advice that you'd like to offer?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the first thing is, this is probably the most difficult situation we're ever going to be in. And at first, we're unable to process. We are in distress. We can't process. We can't, you know, we can't think rationally. So I would advise anyone going through the same, just, I know it's hard, the hardest thing, but just try to be calm, try to look after yourself as as best as you can. Try to stay focused so that you can, you know, they can look for solutions. And that's we need to get it done. We need to be well so that we can get it done.
I was talking to my husband about your story prior to this episode, and you know, when you say child abduction, I think the popular media, you know, kind of attention, you think it's a stranger, right? Yeah. Somebody came in and plucked this child. And I think it's important to know that the majority of child abductions are from a family member. They are not from a stranger. Yeah. They're from someone that's already in the child's life. Yeah. And I think sharing your story and how that translates into difficulty to find the child, into legal battles around custody of the child, I think it's actually harder in the situation that you're describing. And I think, you know, it's just important for listeners to know that it's not something that happens because a stranger came in, or because, you know, because of something that was nefarious. It's something that was already kind of established in the home. And unfortunately, you have to be the victim of something that is the most common way of child abduction.
Yeah, you're right. And it's great that you mentioned this, because, I mean, I'm not the only victim, but the children going through this they suffer. I'm an adult. I can manage myself. Children can't. This is big trauma for them. And it's very difficult, because when a stranger abducts a child, the authorities act very quickly.
Yes.
When it's one of the parents, it's a domestic issue and no one gets involved. So it's very, very hard. Yeah. And the other side of the coin is, like, from like people's perspective, a lot of people tend to say, oh, it's just a father. Like, he's not abducted. Why would you call that abduction if it's the father? He's well. How would you know that?
Yeah. I know you mentioned that, you know, he used to say threatening things against Caleb before. Do you worry that he might be physically abusive? Is that something that you...
I don't know. I never saw him, like, doing anything to him to harm him. He did threaten to, but I never saw it. His mom, Lukman's mother, and the next door neighbor, they asked me a lot, why does the baby cry so much? And I never understood that question while I was living with them, because when I was there, he never cried, ever. And it was only when I moved out and I had I had space to think, that I put 1 and 2 together. Did he really left him crying? Did he really didn't feed him like he said he would? You know, did he beat him? I don't know. I hope he didn't get to that point. But why was the baby crying so much, like what his mother and the neighbor were asking me? I don't know. And, you know, this is a guy that didn't have to do anything. He didn't lift a finger to do anything. He was like lying down flat, complaining that his back was in pain all day long. Right now, he has to be looking after this child all day.
Yeah.
So how is it going to be? It is stressful to look after a child.
Yes.
How is he going to manage? I don't know. I don't know, really. Yeah.
Caleb is 7 now, correct?
He's 7, yeah.
Again, these are probably questions that you've covered tons of times in your personal life, but wouldn't he have to be enrolled in school at some point? Or do you believe that his father would be keeping him intentionally out of school?
I don't know. I don't know. He was supposed to start primary school in January this year, but he hasn't been able to. Yeah.
Is the case in Malaysia the same, where they would still need like your approval to enroll him into a school?
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah.
It's just, I don't understand why the Singapore authorities aren't helping in this matter. Like, if there's stuff they can do, why it's not being done? And I guess I wonder if it is because they're thinking it's just a domestic issue and it's not that much.
At this point, though, like a year and 3 months,
Yes.
it's not a domestic issue anymore. And he doesn't have access anymore.
Yeah.
I'm the sole custodian. I don't know. I really don't know why. I just think it's because there is no streamlined process for them to share information. So it's kind of like maybe they get stuck. They don't know how to process information. I really don't know.
Yeah.
Really don't understand. I'll keep emailing and messaging and calling anyone I have to.
Yes.
And then obviously his parents are not speaking with you. But were there any other family members or friends or someone who may know something?
No. I've approached friends of him, like his friends, not my friends. They don't know, and they try to message him, but they get the same as like his number is inactive. He's not receiving any message. Yeah.
Can I ask a difficult question? And again,
Of
please
course.
feel free to not answer. If you look back, so January, you had those 2 incidents where he kept your child too long, you know, violated his custody agreement. Is there anything you would have done differently between January and May?
Between January and May, I mean, besides not sending him for access, yeah, definitely. I wouldn't, you know, I wasn't really like convinced to send him back. But obviously I was the one breaching the court order by not sending him. And I also asked my son, I asked Caleb, do you want to go? I explained to him all the time why I was not sending him. I'm not sending you because I don't know if he's going to bring you back. He won't bring you back. I can't send you. But I never failed to call for the video calls on Wednesday. Not once. And so I asked him, do you want to go to your father's house? And his answer was, I do, but I don't want to go for a long time. That was his answer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. It's like, you know, he wants to see his dad, but
he doesn't want to stay there for,
Wow, that's tough. I mean, I'm at this point now where I don't even know what more to say, what to ask you, just because it's a lot, you know, it's just too much. And I'm so sorry that you are going through this. Is there anything that you want to add?
No, only that, you know, just if there's anything this episode can do, obviously, we hope that this episode can spread awareness and give any information for folks that are out there that might have access to information. Secondly, I hope that this episode can raise awareness around child abduction generally, that this is not something that happens only from strangers or only, to certain types of people or anything like that. This is something that could affect all of us in our families. And I think also it's important to note that the person suffering here is the child.
Yeah.
Obviously yourself, Daylin, but the person that's really at risk here is the child. And so, I hope that adults listening can do everything within their power to make the right decisions.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being with us, Daylin.
Thank you
And we
for
really
having me.
hope that we can get this message out and help you find Caleb as soon as possible.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.
Thank you.
I
Thank
hope
you.
so too. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow. Sorry, I am. It's just, oh man. It's like